When we think about buying a home, the word simple isn't really the first word that comes to mind.
Not typically, no, especially if you've been through it before, but there are some ways to streamline the process, and we have an expert to help you do just that. Gregg Lindholm with VIP Mortgages joining us with how he can help you. Greg, so good to see you again.
Good morning, great to see you guys.
So let's start off with you and your expertise, and you love doing this. You've been doing this for a while.
Absolutely, I've been in the real estate industry for 20 plus years. I've sold real estate as a realtor, worked in sales and marketing with the title and escrow industry, and I've been doing home loans now as a vice president at VIP Mortgage for the last year, and previously several years with a competitor.
Well, and the fact is you've seen the real estate market change over these years. I imagine some people might think, oh, it's probably harder to buy a home, but the truth is it's easier than ever, especially if you have good help to do it. And so we were talking about buying versus renting, because a lot of people do rent. They're sinking all that money in, really not getting anything back from it. And I imagine that's one of the big benefits of buying, is you're actually putting it towards something.
Absolutely. Getting rid of the landlord and making yourself your landlord.
Yeah.
You can make your own choices with what you want to do with your home. Statistically, it's a better financial position for a person to own their own home. They find that people that own their own home are going to build more wealth for their future, and stability for their family if they're in that position. Paying your mortgage payment every single month to the land or to yourself rather than the landlord is going to build financial security, which is a huge part.
Right, and then when you mention stability, it's also stability in knowing that your rent's not going to go up. So,
absolutely.
Right? So, and there are no unexpected surprises.
Yes.
So let's talk about down payment. What would a down payment look like if I want to buy a house right now?
So there's several different ways that you can get into a home, and the first thing we would do is we'd get an application run so we know where your financial position is. We can go, if you've served in the armed forces and you have the eligibility for a VA loan, you can go with 0% down, which is amazing, and no mortgage insurance. You can go with an FHA government loan. Their minimum down payment is 3.5%. FHA loans are wonderful because for closing costs, you can virtually have the seller cover your closing costs, and you could buy a home and have the seller take care of those costs. We have conventional loans as well. Conventional loans, you can come in as low as 3% down. Depending on the income that you make, it would be between 3 or 5% down. One of the big misconceptions is that you have to have 20% down to buy a home these days. And that is a great way to go, and it's a great plan, and some people have planned and got themselves to that position, but again, get rid of the landlord, get yourself into a position of financial security for yourself and your family. You can buy with little or no money down, which is amazing.
And that's exciting to hear. I mean, a lot of people probably think they'll never achieve this this dream of owning a home. And the
Absolutely.
fact is, it's more achievable than we think. And there is down payment assistance for those who may not be able to save as quickly as they'd like.
Yeah, down payment assistance is it's a great way to get someone into a home when they truly have no money. The big thing, though, with down payment assistance is that there is truly no free lunch. So what we find with the Pima County bond programs and a lot of these different DPA type programs is that the interest rate will be a little bit higher, and the costs and fees of actually obtaining the loan will be a little higher. They do have the caveats involved that will allow the seller, though, to pick up some of those costs, which is a nice thing. I do have borrowers on a regular basis that can buy a home, put down their earnest money, close on the property, and get money back at the closing table, essentially reimbursing them their monies that they put down for their earnest money. It's an amazing way to get, again, them into home ownership. Those loans will normally have a position in it where you have to keep the loan for 3 or 5 years before you can refinance or restructure the financing, though. So these are things that we'll go through and figure out a plan that's going to be the best for your financial future.
Speaking of refinancing, so what does that look like right now if I'm somebody at home thinking about refinancing my home?
Yeah, the Tucson home market is really strong right now, and everyone that bought back when the market turned, now we have some equity. And I'm seeing people's lives changing, and thank goodness business is very busy, and I'm seeing people that are getting rid of their school loans, high interest school loans, high interest credit cards, people that have got themselves into situations where they've gotten a little debt laden. They're able to refinance the home if they're in the right position with the equity, and and have a mortgage payment when they finish up with the whole process.
Yeah.
It's
Life happens.
amazing.
Life happens, and so when you do buy a home and you do invest in that and you have it in the long term, you have that as your backup. And the truth is, you can go online all day long and try to find advice and information online, but someone who knows the market, someone who's been doing this for a long time, you offer free consultations for people.
Absolutely. We can do a phone consultation, come into my office. We can walk through the process, see what's going to be the best thing for your financial future. Some people may not want to touch the equity in their home. They may want to reduce to a 15-year term so they can shave off tens of thousands of dollars worth of interest that they're going to put together on their home if they stay in a 30-year loan product. They also can do just a rate and term and reset the loan back at 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, and reduce the rate, the term, and not even touch the equity, so they have that for the future too.
See the expertise right there?
Obviously
Who wouldn't want Greg to walk them through the process?
A lot to talk about. Greg, pleasure to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, such a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
If you're looking for a no obligation loan consultation at no cost, contact the team at gregglindholm.com or call 520-240-6535.